there's just not any. And y'all know I hate cases like that, and I want to give you as much information as possible. And I also wish that every single missing persons case was as nationally known as, like, Gabby Petito. I know that would probably take up way too much of a news section, but why are these cases not being nationally advertised? I don't understand, and I wish I had the power to do more. Unfortunately, all I can do is tell you guys to hopefully get this information out there and make people aware of the situation. So, we are going to talk about Chelsea Grimm. Chelsea was born in 1991 on March 22nd. Her parents are Stephen and Janet, and I will be quoting them a lot in this video. She is originally from Stanford, Connecticut. She attended Pace University in New York, where she studied psychology, and graduated from NYU in 2019 with her master's in social work. She also worked for the New York City Department of Education as a 12th grade social worker. In 2020, she moved all the way across the country to Ocean Beach, California, which is a beachfront neighborhood of San Diego. She is a licensed associate clinical social worker, a photographer, and an artist. I saw some of her photography work, and it is so good. So, that is going to bring us to September of 2023. Chelsea talked to her parents, and she told them that she was planning on making a trip back to Connecticut to see them and to go to a wedding. She was originally going to fly for the 2,800 something miles, but she had recently gotten a pet bearded dragon, and she could not take this bearded dragon on a plane, which I didn't really research if it was the airport's policy that she couldn't take the dragon on a plane, or if it was unadvised to take reptiles on planes. Does anybody know? Anyway, okay. So she left her home in San Diego, California on September 24th. Again, she was going to fly, but opted to make the scenic drive. She wanted to capture the spirit of America through her camera lens. And Chelsea was described as pretty adventurous, so this change of plans wasn't really something that they were extremely surprised about. Even what they called an adventure of this magnitude, which that's a really long drive, was a lot, but they said they were not surprised by it at all. So, I keep jumping to the wrong. I need to click so that my notes stay where they're supposed to be. So she told her parents, I'm going to drive across the country. I've packed my car. I have packed my tent. I have my sleeping bag. I might spend a couple of nights in a hotel. I might camp, but I'm basically flying by the seat of my pants, her mother said. Janet, is her mother, said 3 days after Chelsea had started this trip from San Diego to Connecticut, Chelsea said, I think I'm just gonna skip it. I'm gonna stay here for a couple of days. I'm gonna do some camping. And then, according to her parents, she made it sound like she was going to head back home to San Diego. Her parents, again, gave her a bunch of options, offering to pay for things, but she just said, I'm good. I got this. I'm gonna spend some time camping and taking pictures. I don't have a lot of service on my phone, but don't worry. Everything will be fine. So Chelsea was working on what I think is an extremely powerful project. She was calling it the Lost and Forgotten People of America. And I think that really could be quite a powerful thing to travel from California to Connecticut and document that sort of thing. So she met up with a friend in Phoenix on September 27th. And later that afternoon talked to her parents, and she said, I'm gonna camp for a couple of days, and, I'll talk to you soon. So her parents didn't really think about the fact that they didn't hear from her for a couple of days. She told them that she would be offline, and it was 3 or 4 days before her parents were like, okay, this is too long for a camping trip. And they started kind of looking into where their daughter could be. Shortly after speaking to her mother for the last time, Chelsea canceled a lunch date with her friend that she had for the following day. And there were some sightings of her later that day, which I found to be quite confusing. So she was reported to be disoriented when she tried to book a hotel near Williams, Arizona, or Williams County. Every article said it differently, but so, excuse me, I hate it when that happens. Some people said that she was trying to book this hotel using euros instead of using American dollars. And then I read in an article that the CCTV footage said she wasn't disoriented. She laughed about the fact that they were euros. She got out cash. She said she didn't want to use her credit card because she didn't want anyone to be able to find her. So I don't know which of that information is true. Was she actually disoriented? If on the footage, her parents reviewed all the CCTV footage, so I don't know. Every article was a little bit different, but why did she have euros? I just don't go carrying around euros in my wallet. I live smack dab in the middle of Illinois. I have no need to do so. So, that brings us to September 28th. She spoke to someone that night that confirmed that she was fine, she was okay, she was camping. That person's identity has not been revealed. However, that is the day that her phone and credit card activity completely stop. So she is then spotted by a police officer. He found her in distress. The following evening, she was parked near a war memorial in Williams County, which is about an hour away from the Grand Canyon, which I think makes an amazing spot for pictures. The body camera footage is about 9 minutes long, and it reveals that someone had called in a suspicious person who was sitting in their car. A police officer responded to the area, and the footage shows the officer talking with Chelsea. She said she was taking photos at the cemetery for a project, and that she had gotten emotional, so she was crying in her car before driving off. She was trying to get control of her maybe I have just researched and read too much true crime and am overthinking it. What do you think? So, nothing more was seen of Chelsea until her car was found abandoned. It was in Kaipop Forest on October 5th when hunters found her car. This was a day after her parents had reported her missing. Both tires on the right side of her SUV were flat. I could not find the reason why they were flat. Like, had they been slashed? Did she run over a nail? I did read that these roads are super gravelly and rocky, and it wouldn't be completely absurd for her to have potentially rollen over a sharp rock, popped a tire, and driven along until that tire damaged the first tire, because maybe she didn't notice because she's bumping along, you know? Her father says that there is a chance that Chelsea got a ride out of there. She seemed to leave her car in a pretty organized way. She had taken her wallet, her phone, her sleeping bag, and the bearded dragon, who was either named Rox or Roxy. I'm not 100%. I heard it several different ways. There were no signs of a struggle around the car, nothing like that. I don't know if the car was fingerprinted. I do know that it was impounded and that her parents did not come after it. Now they're in Connecticut, so that's kind of far to travel for a car, but your child is missing. Okay, again, I am a suspicious person. So, Sheriff Jim Driscoll says Chelsea Grimm's disappearance is suspicious because they didn't receive a call from anyone about car trouble or being lost or anything like that. And he says foul play is, of course, a possibility. He said, we focus both on the person who is potentially lost or the fact that there is foul play, or that maybe they chose to voluntarily get a ride. Driscoll says Chelsea's family reported her missing on October 4th. And Janet says that this is so unlike her. She over-communicates. She is talking to her family all of the time. And her family are convinced that her love of animals would not have allowed her to do anything that would hurt her beloved pet. And they actually have hired a private detective to assist the police in their search. They said that this has no bearing on like how the police are doing, but, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. So Janet says Chelsea always had a special soft spot in her heart for children, elderly people, and animals, and that she would never leave an animal in the car. She wouldn't do it, so I think that that is a hopeful sign. I also think that the chances of people recognizing Chelsea are sort of connecting the dots. If they see someone with a bearded dragon, they're going to take an extra look at that person, because it's quite unusual to be carrying around a bearded dragon, usually on her shoulder. And this is where the case takes a little bit of a twisty turn for me. In this same interview, her father says she seemed pretty upset the last day or two. She was upset with a boy that she was dating. She was scared of him. And they felt like she was running away from this man, and it was affecting her mindset. And that is literally all that they said about this person. Chelsea's sister, Sarah, warned Facebook followers that doesn't believe that she had done anything to harm herself after the tires went out. An extensive search was conducted of the 3-mile radius around where her car was found. So likely she would have been found by nearby hunters or loggers or the many search parties that have combed this area. Maybe she got a ride, Stephen said. That's kind of what we're hoping. Her mother is intent on kind of rectifying the image of her daughter. She says Chelsea is incredibly vivacious and talented, and she has a heart of gold. As all of this has unrolled, it's hard to look at the situation in the circumstances, and you need to make sure that the vision of the real person is part of the picture. And she is a treasure. Her father said, "We love you, Chelsea, and we cannot wait to see you again." Sheriff Driscoll says that ex-boyfriends have been ruled out in Chelsea's disappearance. The sheriff said that her family did tell them that she struggled with mental health, but nothing definitive. So, Chelsea is a white female, born March 22nd of 1991. She has blonde/strawberry blonde hair, blue eyes. She is 5'8" tall and somewhere in the 120-pound range. She has a black ink vine style tattoo on her left forearm and left wrist. She has a small black ink tattoo on her right wrist and black ink writing on the left side of her rib cage. If you or anyone you know knows anything about Chelsea Grimm's disappearance, I encourage you to call the Coconino County Sheriff's Department at 928-774-4523. That number will also be in the description box down below. So let's talk about this a little. Okay, hold on, let me get my thoughts together here. I hate when we see cases like this and they immediately think that they ran off into the woods to unalive themselves. I hate that. Yes, does it happen? Yes, of course it happens. It happens. But that's not always what happens. I don't have a theory for this case. I have a couple thoughts. Maybe what she told that hotel person was true. She didn't want someone to find her. She wanted to go off the grid. But I think it's really strange that if that was the case, as a photographer, she did not take her very expensive camera with her. Granted, maybe she didn't want to carry it, maybe it was kind of heavy, but most photographers that I know have a strap so they can just pop it around their neck and go. And I think that that would be extremely strange for her not to take it with her. I think that maybe she was headed towards her parents to get away from this guy for a while. Yes, she was kind of messed up about it and maybe a little scared of him. But she seemed like the type of person that was gonna put on her big girl pants and deal with it, not run from it because she was scared. So I think that maybe she had these 2 flat tires and she not just one search out there. However, I do like to look on Reddit sometimes to see what people kind of think about these cases, because I like to discuss as many theories as possible with you guys, and one of the people was talking about how she was friends with Chelsea and how devastating this was. However, she brought up the fact that Chelsea's sister has like 18,000 followers or something on Instagram, but that she is not posting like a single thing about her sister really being missing. And this happened in September, October, so it's been like 8 months. I would be out there looking for my sister as often as I could. They did find a handwritten note in her car that was strange. They said it was not a suicide note,